Hey guys, good morning. So it did rain all night last night pretty much. It did stop now, and it's actually really nice at the present time. It's probably like maybe 80 something degrees. It might get a little bit warmer later. But I'm gonna start the day just raking everything away from the house. If you ever did see the previous video where we had a bee problem here, we had a couple different areas where bees were just coming and going all through this area. And that was a pretty interesting project. To get rid of them, we just, we took out as much as we could, all the soft stuff, and then we just put vacuum cleaners right where they enter and exit, and that sucked up probably like 80% of them, and then the rest, we sprayed some bee killer and eventually got rid of them that way. But we haven't had a bee problem in this area since then, so it should be pretty good here. It's still, there's a couple soft spots that eventually we will get to. That's just, it's like an ongoing thing. But most of these are in pretty good shape. But this is all cement up to here. So this is a little bit better protected from termites. I'm afraid to even open that up, but I'm gonna spray everything just to make sure we're protected a little bit. This might be next year's project. But anyway, I'm breaking everything back and eventually spraying everything and making little holes in the ground and spraying it in there to get it pretty deep. And then try to do that all the way around the house. I'm gonna get rid of these as well. I'm trying to get everything growing by the house just at least a few feet back. So I'm just gonna completely get rid of those. So there's no really moisture areas at all. And just because termites love any kind of moisture or wet areas. So I'm gonna get rid of all this. You can see this is all cement, so it's a little bit better protected. Before, all the wood was pretty much on the ground. So eventually that all kind of rotted away. That wasn't really even all termites. I can't blame everything on termites, just being so close to the ground where it does get wet. So I'm gonna eventually go around this way. Oh my gosh, look at that. There's a deer sitting right there. How cool is that? And that's a buck too. He's got some horns. That's why I love living out here, even though there might be some challenges like with water, with termites, with the wood and the spiders and everything goes along with living in the woods. You can't complain because you get stuff like that. Hey Eric, there's a deer chilling on the side of the house. That's so cool. Can you see it from there? That's a cool little spot for him, or I wasn't even recording it. He's kind of looking at us. He's got some big eyes. So this is the area where we had all those strawberries. Unfortunately, there's no strawberries left. They have a very short life cycle. But anyways, I'm gonna eventually go all through here. You can see all the leaves and stuff growing. I'm gonna try to get everything back at least a few feet so everything's a little more dry. Just making it a little bit harder for the bugs and termites to get to the house. But that's really cool seeing that deer. I'll wait to go there last. He looks like he's pretty comfortable. That's pretty cool. He does not move. All right, so just finished getting everything away from the house. Tried to dig a lot of that out, anything growing. And then I'll wipe off all the logs, make that look a little nicer. The thing about living out here, you wipe this down, within a few days it'll look exactly the same. But I will wipe it down since I'm out here doing everything else. So here we got a mix of Dawn soap, vinegar, and water. All those things termites and a lot of bugs don't like. So this is just to clean off a lot of this stuff, just to make it look nicer. this stuff does accumulate pretty quickly. Alright guys, check out this thing my uncle made. You can unscrew this and just put water in and everything is enclosed. And there's this little faucet here. I'll show you a close-up. You just turn it on. You can go a lot or a little. I'm gonna just do a little trinkle so I can clean out this. That's pretty handy, especially if you don't have water and your water goes dry or something like that, or your well just stops working. So thank you to my uncle. This is really cool. It's nice to have something I don't have a spigot or a hose for outside, so if I need more water, I have to go inside, outside, inside, outside all the time. And you know, it's easier just to have something outside. So this is really convenient and easy. This is pretty genius though. I'll give it to my uncle. He's very good at building things like this. Here's a little faucet, on and off. You can unscrew this and fill it back up. You got a bar of soap right there. That's pretty cool. And if you wanted to, if you wanted to put it higher, you could even take a shower there. Just turn it on a little bit, stand underneath, and wash up that way. This is perfect for washing hands. All right, so this side's pretty much done for today. That does look a lot better. We'll see how long that lasts. But eventually I'm gonna plug some holes in the ground and get some of that termite stuff in there. And then eventually I'm gonna put some vinegar on a lot of this mossy stuff in here. And then if I have time today, you can't really see from here, but there's a lot of moss on the roof. So that's like the roof's worst nightmare. So I want that to last as long as possible as well. So eventually I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna clean some of this stuff up, and then bring this back and then do my thing with the termite spray. And then these two sections will be good. I think that's all I'm gonna be able to get to today. My dad actually just left not too long ago. We weren't able to do anything here today because this is still pretty wet. And we wanna make sure this is all the way dry. It's supposed to be dry the next few days. That will give this a chance to dry. It is pretty wet still. So when we get that all the way dry, I'll probably spray it one more time. And then do the same thing over here. Do a couple holes and get that termite stuff inside the soil. Alright, so that looks a lot better. All that stuff off. Now I'm gonna go back and go over all this mossy stuff. See if anything will come off with this. So the good thing about having all these trees is that you get the extra shade and it keeps the temperature in the house a lot cooler. But the bad thing is, especially this side, it doesn't get a lot of sun, so this moss really does grow up pretty quickly. Every time I see it, I try to get up here and get it as much as I can. You definitely don't want that to stay on the roof for too long. It really does destroy the roof. But I usually get as much as I can off with this, and then I go back and spray it really good with just vinegar. So that's like the cheapest way I know to do it, and actually works really well. I just spray that as much as I can in there, in all the cracks, and then go around and do the same with all this mossy part. All right, so now it's time to go back and get it saturated with some vinegar. I'm just gonna spray as much as I can, and this will really dry it out. And it should get rid of most of this moss. If I need to come back again tomorrow or the next few days, it's gonna be dry. There's supposed to be no rain in the next few days, so it's a good time to do this. But if anybody out there does have moss on their roof, you should definitely get it off as quickly as you can. And this is kind of like the cheap way to do it. And it's, you know, chemical free pretty much. It's just vinegar, and it does a really good job. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna go around, get all these spots that I just finished scraping off and blowing off. And then eventually I'll go back down and finish this here. I wanted to get all the stuff off the roof before I started raking this and getting that cleared out. So I'm gonna finish this, then I'm gonna go down there and finish the front. All right, finished with the roof. I'll check on it again maybe in a few days to see if it needs another coat of the vinegar. But down here, that side's done. The walls look pretty good. And then we're gonna start on this side, just raking all that stuff away. And the walls look pretty nice. Get some of these by the roots. They come out a little bit easier. Just break up the dirt a little bit. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. And now I'm gonna spray this termite solution. Start on this side. So you've seen this before. I'm just gonna go around, get everything I can. So this is just a metal rod. It does come in handy for doing this next step, is just putting these holes in the ground. Luckily this is sand, so it does go in pretty deep. You want to get it probably pretty close to the house as you can, and then just push down. If you have a hammer, you can push it down a little bit more, which I might do once I get into it. But I'll just make these holes, maybe a couple feet or so in between. This is just an example. And then get the spray and get that in the holes. So, you know, you might want to get it closer and just kind of do it around the area, all in here, and then all on that side, and eventually all over the house, and then over here as well. So trying to do the best I can to prevent them from even getting close to the house. Termites are the worst, especially for like a log cabin. But all right, guys, this is about it. I'm gonna continue sweeping this off, getting the rest of the cobwebs. There's always something to do. In here, I'll put some vinegar and then sweep the rest of that. All right, guys, I think this is about it. I definitely do want to prepare my house as much as I can before I leave. And then, man, especially termites will destroy your house. All right, guys, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next video. If you guys have any tips or anything, just let me know. I'm not a professional, so I'm just doing what I can and kind of like on a budget-friendly budget pretty much. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys later.